Hi there, Martin here. I've got a couple of new lighting fixtures that I'm trying out to see if they will work for me in my setup. I thought I would just share my thoughts and findings with you. I've got them hooked up to my Wolfmix W1 and let's take a look. They are the CFX Blitzer Impact 384. They're a generic fixture. I purchased them from a UK retailer. They came in a nice plain brown box and first impressions are that they're actually pretty good. So they are, let me tell you what they're all about. So each fixture has 2 rows of RGB LEDs. So you can see there's actually 16 segments on the top. There are 16 segments on the bottom, and the center strip are white LEDs as well, 16 segments of white LED. So overall, there are in fact 384 individual LEDs. You can run them, as far as DMX is concerned, in either 6 channel, 9 channel, 64 channel or 112 channel. Now, obviously being the DMX fan that I am, I put them straight into 112 channel mode, hooked them up to my Wolfmix, and I thought I'd see what they can do. The fixtures themselves do have onboard programs and show modes and things like that, and some of them are accessible in some of the DMX modes. There is no remote for these, so you can't control them with a normal remote, but as you probably guessed by now, I'm going to be using them with my Wolfmix W1 DMX controller. The fixtures themselves, I've got them mounted on my favourite Gravity Mini T-Bar. They have both PowerCon in and out, so I have been able to power link the two of them together with a short PowerCon cable, and they also have 3-pin DMX in and out. When I first started, they arrived a couple of days ago. There is no Wolfmix fixture profile for these available yet. But I've created my own. In fact, I've created 2, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the second one later in this video. So I've created a 112 channel profile for these fixtures. I loaded it up onto my Wolfmix. I went straight into the intelligent preset generator, generated some presets, and I thought I would just take a walk through with them now. So if you do get a copy of this profile, if you buy these fixtures, and you do get a copy of my profile, or if it gets published, this is what you can expect if you were to just plug it in. I have in DMX addressed them independently, so this is DMX address number 1 on the left and 113 on the right. So the Wolfmix is able to control each one independently. So when it starts up with an amber colour. Now I will tell you right now that these are currently at 20% dimmer. If I turn these up to 100% dimmer, the camera will just simply not capture this particularly well. It's just too bright for this small room. So for the purposes of this video, I'm running most of this at 20% dimmer. If I were in a larger room, I would almost certainly run it a bit brighter than that. But for now, honestly, it's not required in this room. This is perfect for the purposes of this video. So what do the presets look like straight out the box? Actually, I think some of them are pretty cool. So this is with no tweaking from me. This is straight from the intelligent preset generator. The first page has got some quite nice presets. So this one's called Jet Set. It's kind of a mint colour. Obviously, you can tailor all of these individual presets yourself. If you wish to change some of the colours or the speed, you can do that. And I'll do that in a moment. But I just want to kind of show you what some of these look like. This is the Wolf Rider, which very clearly, as its name suggests, is a kind of a fast fade from left to right. There's some really nice kind of disco type colours in here. As you can see, and as I mentioned earlier, this is just using the RGB segments at the top and the bottom. I'll come to the white in a moment because it's important to understand how this fixture works and how the white works. So this is kind of disco rainbow, nice effect. 70s Paradise, similar to the one before, but as you can see, the colour segments are now fading colours in a little bit more of a granular fashion across both the top and the bottom. There's a couple of fun ones in here as well. I quite like Runway. again, individually, this is straight out the box, or the profile, as it were. So I've not played around with the colours in this particular version. I will show you what that looks like if you do in a bit. Some kind of fairground type colour patterns, which if you're up close look a bit garish, but from a distance actually I thought they looked pretty good. Things I would definitely use. This one is quite fun. Fire. Just very clearly some kind of warning. But there's also sizzle, which is a kind of a rapidly changing red and amber colour. Not quite sure whether I would use it or not, but I thought it was a bit of fun. This is a very straightforward kind of disco colour pattern. So the entire fixture, all of the RGB colours or colour segments, all the same, bouncing between colours. And if I wanted to change any of those things, if I wanted to make this sound active, for example, I could just hop into the colour effects, switch this to be sound active. I can turn this, the overall speed of this down a little bit, and then if I start to tap, you'll see this will change with a beat of music, which is almost certainly what most of us will use when we've got a busy and packed dance floor. A couple of others I'll just show you quickly. Can, similar to one that we saw earlier. Candy floss, quite a nice subtle selection of candy floss type colours that are panning across these two fixtures. And then there's this kind of rather random, it's called Insane Colours as a profile preset. But actually, I think that might be quite usable because this is not just a wash fixture, it's clearly got a bit of an eye candy attraction as well. So that's just page one of the presets. Anybody who uses Wolfmix will know, if you use any of the intelligent presets, that there are 3 more pages. One of them is all about movement effects, so you're not going to get any joy from this fixture just by looking at the movement effects. But going to the beam effects, you can get some other interesting colours and effects with some of the other pages of presets. But overall, what I wanted to show you was that straight out of the box, as it were, plugging this in 112 channel mode, you get some pretty neat patterns. And obviously you can go in and customize any of those yourself. Some of which I have done. So let's just pop in. So for example, if you like the runway, but you want this to be another color, then it doesn't take too long to work out that runway is actually being driven by one of the kind of static colors, and I can simply hit the color button, jump into blue, and change it to be a different color. Blue, I can go for mint, for example. You can also, rather than having just a single color, switch to being an alternating pattern. So if you want red and blue, for example, then you can do that as well. So loads of flexibility in the presets for this, but it does show off the kind of capability of this particular fixture. As I said right at the beginning, I'm running this in 112 channel mode. I've got 2 of them, so that's 224 channels in use just for 2 fixtures. Clearly, if I've got many other fixtures as well, and you've only got a single universe, you're going to have to make sure that you don't run out of channels. But the Wolfmix W1, as it comes shipped in a box, comes with 2 universes. I appreciate that the ADJ and other units often ship with 1, but you can buy additional universes if you wish. Okay, so let's talk about the white and the white LEDs. The white LEDs are only activated if you were to select white colour. So if I turn off the purple in this and then add in white, you'll see that then the centre strip becomes active. The other top and bottom strips do kind of try to emulate white. They use all 3 RGB channels on to kind of simulate white, but the white, the Wolfmix very definitely kind of intelligently realizes that if you choose a white color, then you will activate the white SMD LEDs in the center. Right, bit of a warning coming up now, because I'm going to show you what happens if you hit the blinder button on here, because not surprising, it will turn every single LED on and full brightness, so expect the camera to just white out at this point. But blinder is very bright. Here we go, I'll hit it again. It's very bright. For that reason, that made me stop and think, is there a way that I can actually just use a blinder for just the white center strip LEDs? Can I work out a way of using this profile or with this fixture so that when I just hit the blinder button, only the white center actually activates as a blinder? The answer is yes, you can. So with a little bit of clever use of the fixture profile, I have created an alternative version of the fixture profile, loaded it onto this Wolfmix as a separate project, and as a bonus for the alternative fixture, with a little bit of extra setting up, and I'll go through this as well if you wish. You can achieve some even more impressive effects with this fixture. So right, without further ado, let's jump in. I'm just going to open up my alternative Blitzer profile. This will come back on with 100% dimmer. So first things first, just turn this down so that we can actually see what's going on. So now, rather than this being two fixtures in group A on my Wolfmix W1, I've split the profile so that the top and bottom RGB colours are treated as one fixture in group A, and the white SMD LEDs in the centre are actually treated as a separate fixture and now appear in group B. The reason I do that is because I'm sure some of you will know, if you go into the Wolfmix settings, you can isolate the blinder in certain groups. So for this project, what I've done is I've asked the Wolfmix, or told the Wolfmix, not to activate the blinder on channel A, which is the RGB colours. Probably best demo, so let me show you what that looks like. And there is also an advantage that some of the presets, because the top and bottom sections or segments of each fixture are now kind of addressed individually as fixtures, I can actually produce some quite nice mirrored effects that wasn't possible with just the stock profile. Right, let's jump in. So for example, the jet set has now got a nice mirrored effect. Before, if you remember this pattern, the two fixtures looked similar, which was nice, but actually if you're going to put two together, I think it looks rather nicer where they mirror each other. The same is true for things like runway. So I think this is a really nice pattern that can be used, where I can also choose the colours if I wish. But yeah, the individual nature of the fixture profile I'm using here allows me to have slightly finer control of the patterns, and I'm also here making good use of the link facilities of the W1. I don't mean the W-link. I mean when you've got a patterns, you can choose both color effects or move effects and beam effects to be linked either by group, by fixture, or not at all. If I'll choose a slightly different preset to kind of give a slightly better view of this. So this pattern here is the group is linked together. So the pattern appears to work across both fixtures. Whereas if I join them together, I should be able to. No, this is a beam effect, so it catches me out every time. If I turn this into a fixture, you'll now see that rather than being a single pattern that moves across both fixtures, it's now the same pattern that operates on each fixture, but in a kind of a mirrored fashion. So by using this either link group, link fixture, or link none in the effects panels, you can also create some really cool, neat effects. Right. The real reason I did this, I'm just going to go back to this now. If I go back to the runway, is that what I wanted to achieve is to have the runway pattern on the RGB LEDs, but the blinder button to only activate the white blinder LEDs. And that is exactly what happens now. You may struggle to see this on the video. Let's give it a go. But this is what happens. So the blinder button now only activates, the center LEDs. And I don't know whether you can see that because I can't turn the blinder down, but the pattern continues on the RGBs, which actually overall, I guess, reduces the brightness of the blinder. So that was more of an exercise in can I do this, as opposed to is it really important and is it really required. But as a fun little exercise, I wanted to find out if I could use the blinder just for the white LEDs in the center, and the answer is, with a clever bit of profile adaptation, yes, you can. So there we go. That's pretty much it, really. I could wander through some of the other patterns that I've created in this particular version of the profile. I think some of them are a little bit nicer now because of the kind of either the matching of each fixture, you know, left to right, or for the kind of mirrored effect. In real life, I think it's pretty unlikely that I'm going to put two of these close together, so they don't really need to mirror each other. But for the purpose of this video, again, I wanted to find out if these things were possible, and the answer is yes, they are. Yeah, so there we go. This is the CFX. I'm going to get the name right. CFX Impact 384, available from UK distributors. Arrived within probably, I think, next day. Very reasonably priced. I was surprised at how little these actually cost. Comes with a short PowerCon cable, a user manual, which is actually pretty good. The last CFX fixture I purchased did not have a great manual, although it was actually quite easy to use. This one, spot on correct. I've not found a single issue or error in the user manual there, so top marks for that. Very reasonably priced, works extremely well with a DMX controller. My plan is actually to use them as a wash for some of the gigs I've got coming up. I will probably use them definitely in kind of dimmed. I also run sound and lighting from a monthly comedy club here, which also needs some good wash lighting for the comedians, for the acts, and I think these will do a pretty good job of that. So a couple of these and a couple of pin spots for the actual performers themselves will become my setup for a comedy club. So I'm looking forward to using these at the end of the month for that. Would I recommend these? Yeah, for the price. Honestly, I think they're phenomenal. I do think they're incredibly bright, as I've said, so you definitely need some kind of DMX controller to manage the brightness. Standalone, honestly, answer is I don't know, because I've not used them standalone. I only ever use all of my lighting with a Wolfmix controller using DMX control. So I can't really comment on that. I'm sure some of the patterns are going to be lovely. We're probably going to see similar patterns to what I've shown you today. But also without any remote control for these, I think even somebody without a DMX controller might find these a little bit hard to work with. But with a DMX controller, yeah, phenomenal. Really love them. Very glad I've got a pair. Looking forward to using them, and would definitely recommend them if you're looking for something that's bright, that you can use as a wash, but also has quite a nice eye candy effect. So yes, you can very definitely use this to have some visual eye candy effect as well. So if you are using this, you know, prior to first dances, and you just want something to be happening with your lighting, but not necessarily blinding people, then these will be perfect for that as well. They're not just sat there looking like a heater, which is what I think the initial preset looks like. Always makes me smile when I switch these on, because yeah, you can start to feel quite warm with this, especially if we switch to the sizzle. That makes the whole room feel nice and warm. Anyway, there we go. Any questions, pop them in the comments. Very happy to answer them there. If anyone buys a pair of these and wants to use them with either the Wolfmix W1 or with any other controllers that use the SSL2 profiles, so that will be things like Light Rider, etc. I can also make profiles available for those too. But yeah, would I recommend these? Definitely. For the price point, I think these are excellent. Really love them. Glad I've got a pair, and looking forward to taking them out. But that's it. Thank you very much.